What's going on? I'm going to be breaking down the 4-game NBA main slate on DraftKings for today, Monday. So the first game is the Knicks versus the Cavs. On the Knicks side, I like RJ Barrett. His price stayed the same even after scoring 59 DraftKings points last night. Played 43 minutes, 28 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. But the thing that stood out to me most was his 24 shot attempts. With Derrick Rose out and Kemba Walker questionable. If Kemba is out, that just means RJ is going to have to score more. The next person I like is Julius Randle. Julius Randle's 9,700, probably going to score somewhere in the mid 40s, and probably play right around high 30s minutes. Julius Randle's always a good play, and he might be going up against Jarrett Allen, which I could see potentially being a little bit of a struggle. I don't know. I feel like they're both great players, but could see a little struggle there. But Jarrett Allen is questionable, and if he's out, that makes Randle an even better play. Then at center, Mitchell Robinson is questionable, and he has an ankle injury. If he's out, Nerlens Noel, who is probable for tonight, would be a great play and super cheap, only 4,200. So the three that I like are RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel if Mitchell Robinson is out. Then you go to Cleveland side. On Cleveland side, only one I really like is Darius Garland at 9,300. Garland's always going to have a ton of shot attempts, probably right around 20 or so, maybe just under. But yeah, he's always a great option, especially if he can get on with it, if he can get hot with his shots. He has a ton of opportunities, and if he can, score a ton of them, obviously that just results in more DraftKings points. And the good thing about him is he gets a lot of assists, usually double digits. So Darius Garland is a great option at 9,300. Then we move on to Chicago and Oklahoma City. On Chicago's side, with Lonzo out, you have Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. I don't really like either one of them. The price has come up on both. And the problem with them is they're kind of... Ayo's inconsistent. Kobe just scores kind of in the 30s. At 7,000 for Kobe, that's overpriced. And then, like I said, with Ayo, he's too inconsistent. So I'd pass on those, but I would go to DeMar DeRozan. Oh, also, Zach LaVine is questionable. So if he plays, I still wouldn't play him because he could be limited with the knee issue. But if he's out, then DeMar DeRozan... kind of no matter what, DeMar DeRozan is a great play. But with LaVine potentially out, that would make him an even better play. And Vucevic is questionable, but I would assume he probably plays because it's just a bruised knee. So Vucevic, great option. If he's out, I still wouldn't go to any of those backup centers because they're probably still not gonna do much, even with them being at min price. Then you go to Oklahoma City. Same with Oklahoma City. Not a ton I like. The one I like is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I've been scoring really well, playing in the mid to high 30s. So Shai would be the only one I would play. Josh Giddey's overpriced, and everyone else just kind of inconsistent. They don't play enough. They kind of run through a big rotation. Then you go to the Pacers. This is one of the teams that I really like tonight. Karis LeVert is questionable. If he is in, Karis LeVert, I would say, is probably the first, if not second best option on the whole slate for tonight. But if he is out, no matter what, you can go to all the value on this team. But if he's out, then everyone on here is basically a value play and a good play. Besides Goga, who's 6,200, he wouldn't be a value play. But no matter what, he's going to be a good play with Sabonis and Turner out. And then you got Chris Duarte, 6,400. Probably has some pretty solid upside, probably right around somewhere around 40. Realistically, he'll probably score mid to low 30s, and he's 6,400. I think he is a good play. And then if LeVert is out, that just opens more opportunity for someone like Justin Holiday. So Justin Holiday would be a good play if Karis LeVert is out. Then you go to the Pelicans. With the Pelicans, not a whole lot I like. Probably Jonas Valanciunas would be the best option, and maybe Josh Hart. Brandon Ingram is out tonight. which could open up some opportunities for NAW or maybe Garrett Temple, but still neither one of them do enough to make me interested. And then Graham is questionable. If Graham is out, then maybe even someone like Jose Alvarado would be an okay option, especially at 3,600. You don't need a lot from him. Then we go to Utah and Phoenix. So this is probably my favorite game on the out of the four. So Conley and Clarkson would be the two that I would be interested in for the guards, just because Donovan Mitchell being out and Bogdanovich is questionable, and then Ingles just doesn't do a whole lot. So depending on the starting lineup, I would go either Conley or Jordan Clarkson. I think Clarkson probably has the most upside if he starts, just because I think he'll shoot the ball a lot more. He just needs to start hitting his shots. I mean, he did a couple games ago, but yeah, I feel like there's more potential for him if he gets to start and gets to play some mid to high 30s minutes, which is possible. Then we go to center. Gobert's out, so that means that Whiteside should be starting. He was out yesterday, but that was conditioning, so I would assume he's probably back tonight. So Hassan Whiteside, I think, would be probably one of the best centers on the whole slate. So if he's in, I would play him. If he's out, I wouldn't even play any of the other centers. Azubuike probably would get to start, is my guess, but still, I don't even know if I would play him. Let me move on to Phoenix. So for Phoenix, Chris Paul. I've said a few of these guys are some of my favorite plays, but Chris Paul probably is the number one play that I like the most. He's cheaper than Devin Booker, and I think he has more potential right now than Devin Booker, especially what he's done in the past 2 games. I think he can continue doing that. And yeah, I think Chris Paul would be the best play on the whole slate. And you got McCall Bridges. With Jay Crowder out, I think McCall would be the next best play on this team. 5,800. He's getting shot attempts up, but he's kind of doing it all. He's getting the boards, he's getting assists, he's even getting some steals here and there. I think he would be the next best option on this team. Then we go down to Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, 3,900. He hasn't been scoring great since he came back, but with Jay Crowder out, I think he gets more opportunity and more play time. So Cam Johnson would be a good option. I mean, like when we go back to earlier on, he was scoring a lot better. But yeah, as of lately, he's been scoring in the teens. I could see him seeing an uptick in DraftKings points. When we go to center, Ayton is questionable. He's doubtful for Monday, so Ayton should be out, which means Bismack Biyombo would be center, and I would play him, and I'd be even fine playing him against Whiteside. Even though they are going up against each other, I think both would be great options and actually pretty cheap options. Bismack is 5,300. Whiteside is okay. Whiteside's a little bit more expensive at 6,300 after that last 51-point game. But yeah, I think you could play both of them, and I think that would be good. So my favorite comes from the Pacers value, and then Utah Jazz. Couple of the guards, and then Hassan Whiteside if he starts. And then for Phoenix, that's probably my favorite team with Chris Paul, McCall Bridges, and Bismack Biyombo. And like I said, possibly Cam Johnson. And then other than that, you go to some of the kind of one-off players on each team. Like I said, Barrett, Randall, or Noel if Robinson is out. For Cleveland, you go Garland. Chicago, you go DeRozan or Vucevic. And then for OKC, you could go with Shea. And Pelicans, Jonas or Josh Hart. So yeah, that'll be it for the breakdown.